Aloha mabuhay, buddy out there in the interwebs. Today I'm going to do a review of my 2022 Thor Rize scope. Mine specifically is a Rize. And a couple things I'm going to show you are my tips and tricks after having this van for about 17,000 miles. And I'll talk about oil change, I'll talk about how I've been renting it out, and what I have to clean and things like that. So I've rented it out already for about 9 times now on Outdoorsy and an RV Share, and I'll show you the things that have happened to it, and it really has been almost nothing. Introducing my family dog Turbo, which is right there in the van. Actually my daughter's dog. He's 14 years old. Good. He loves the van. I think all dogs love the van, and that's when I get to use the doggy drawer, right? So he's out there hanging out with me and watching me detail and clean the cab. So here we go. What has broken so far? Well, one thing that has broken is actually this latch, and Thor was quickly sent me a new one. So that is the new one. The original one looks like that. So you can zoom up and you can see the difference of the two. But double check that, because it swang out this way when my son-in-law was sitting on it. Was it dangerous? Yes. Was it life-threatening? I'm going to say no. All right. So all the lights have been working. None of them have went out, including those LEDs there. Fridge has been fabulous. Fabulous. Been really outstanding. I set it at a quarter. The highest I've set it is at a half, just to test it. A quarter works for me. If you put in cold drinks, it will stay cold. If you put in warm drinks, it will take a while to get cold. But when it gets cold, it gets cold. Easy to maintain. I just take sanitary wipes. I haven't actually done it yet today because my brother used it last week. My trick here, though, tip and trick, is on the freezer. I put paper towels while it's cooling and when it cools off, so it can soak up. This tray right here actually takes the water in. There's a trick to it, but I'm just going to pull it. So when you pull this, I put paper towels in here too. As you can tell, I just defrosted because my brother just returned it. And instead of having a pool of water here, it goes into the paper towel. And then I will take those and I will squeeze them out. And then I'll wipe this down with sanitary wipes. Again, that's the controller for the fridge. Right now it's at a half because my brother had it at a half. But I usually keep it at a quarter to a third. Okay? Watch this right there. So that works pretty good. I put in this baby handle thing here. It doesn't help it from swinging here. What's the trick? Don't put anything in here while you're driving. Don't put anything on the door while you're driving. Fuse boxes there. I always check the fuse boxes. Seat belts have been pretty good. 2 of them. My brother just used it again. The controller's been really good. I like the old school. When I say old school, the 2023s don't have these manual buttons here. And I love the manual buttons because I don't have to wait for this to turn on. When I turn the master on, I can automatically go ahead and turn on the lights and not have to worry about the Android powering up, right? I always have my Curator here. Yes, on the road. I just use command strips, and I like having it here because that switch over there is the actual inverter switch that works through battery power. So it really works really well in the morning when I'm trying to make a cup of coffee or some cup of noodles and things like that, right? I added those 2 boards there. When I rent it out, I always tell people, bring some pictures so you can have it feel homey for you. And then usually I say hello, welcome, and they can, if they have multiple people using this and one's hiking and one's somewhere, they can actually put notes on there, have some pens they can use over there. I bought this from Rec Van. Cabinets have been very solid. They close really well. This is pretty empty. A little kind of trick, I guess. I always put my first aid kit there, right? Sometimes I will move it here next to the fire extinguisher. And when I rent it out, I put it here, and then I could tell them to move it over there. So they have the fire extinguisher and the safety first aid kits there. My original front cover, my modified front cover that I got on Amazon's right there. Going back to here, I got these trays, a set of 4 at Costco, 20 bucks. They work well for anything, so it doesn't get loose. These right here, if you barbecue, I actually put it here because see, it's snug right here. It's snug right here, and it's a stopper on both sides if I'm trying to put things that are loose like that in there. Again, it's a stopper to right here. When I say stopper, it's pinching it so it doesn't ruin the trays, but this doesn't slide. Sorry about the camera action. This does not slide because it's pinched right here, and you're always going to use these trays anyway, right? And you can put something on top of the trays if you want to. Okay, empty over there. What do I got here? These have been working really well. These magnetic things, right? Working very well. All tight. Again, tight. Up here, I usually keep my coffee for the Keurig inverter. I don't know if anybody's ever told you, if you press this, that makes the inverter plug not work, and it keeps your batteries a little bit more drained. Excuse me, a little more charged. So, been working really well. I live in Sacramento, and this will get fully charged in about a day, right? A couple of tips and tricks. How do I clean this? I use a Swiffer. Sorry, this one I've been cleaning to get in there. It's always kind of cloudy, right? And then I can take a paper towel, Windex, and get into those spots up in there. Of course, everybody has this dishwasher silicone thing so it doesn't rattle. I usually pull this way, pull it that way, less rattling, versus like if it's pushed that way, sometimes more rattling. So I pull it. A little holder right there. As you can tell, I haven't really using it too much, but it's there. I use glass cleaner wipes for this, and this. It's scratching, you know, when you put metal things on there, it will scratch. Shouldn't get too mad about that. I use this cover. Somebody showed me. Again, everything on here, I want to make sure. Again, this is stuff that I've seen on the internet, right? I don't think any of the things that I've done, maybe that I didn't go on the internet, but everything I've seen on a Facebook page or something like that, where they've used this for a shelf. When I move it this way, I'll show you how I use my TV. Of course, you can turn this sideways. Cassette. It is not as dirty as you would think. I actually empty in my own house with following these rules right here, which is only number one, only. Number two, for emergency. When I rent it out, I tell them that. Use RV toilet paper only. I actually don't know if that in the cassette world that really matters too much, but of course it's biodegradable, it's a lot easier. And I go how to use it. You know, open the lid, do your business, close the lid. Important so the water doesn't splash around the ring, right? And then press the green button on the left side for 2 or 3 seconds. Sorry about moving the camera along. Splash with your blue button, and then push the lever out and then back in, and double check to make sure everything's rinsed off. Don't use this to rinse it off. This is the shower head because your cassette will get full. Tip and trick, it's going to go green to red. There's no yellow. Do not play with it if it's red. Don't think you can do your number one in there and not flush it and then actually empty it and bring it back, because that gray thing right there is the top of the cassette. All right, do not do that. Don't trick it. Okay, these are all good, solid. I love this. I actually use the wardrobe. I don't use it for, you know, when I use this for weddings, I could be camping or working, and then from there I go, you know, I go from a suit or a business clothes back to my riding clothes, like Harley. I ride Harley too, or shorts, things like that. Cabinets have been really good, really locking. As you could tell in there, that's where I put the from the internet again, and the social media. That's where I put all my cleaning materials, my gloves, and all that kind of stuff in the back. I rarely use this sink, but I have just to, you know, use it, and it looks pretty good. People love it that it's there. My mom thought it was a baby changing station, and it's not. All right, so again, it's really cool because the fan and lights and all that stuff is right there. I got to clean that. But you know, over here, this is where another storage. I could use that bin in there, or I can put it here. I do use this small air fryer. It works wonders for everything. Yes, it works in the van. It doesn't choke the generator. I always have these soups in here too that are microwavable, 1 minute type things. And then I use that for storage for cleaning supplies and the extra. Hey, where my brother put it? But usually there's wipes and things in there. And there's a little cubby hole access right there. Okay. Okay, what else can I show you? These have been holding up really well. USBs are pretty good. I can change the picture out with these contact strips. I have another picture that I use there, but this is typically their Turbo's picture there. This is getting this comes down pretty easy. So you guys gotta go all the way to the top. Maybe I gotta troubleshoot that. That's probably my only complaint so far. People have a problem with stuff falling behind here. I don't have that problem. There's actually a stopper right there. I don't know if between the ears or between Rize and scope, but nothing can fall all the way down there. Okay. Let's see. I did have a problem with this drawer. Somebody opened it all the way and they pulled it too hard and it went all the way out. The only way to repair it is to unscrew those rails on each side and then put the rails onto the cabinet. Excuse me. So what happened is they pulled all the way out and this part came away from that part, totally separated. And you can't just slide it back in. You got to unscrew these on this side and the opposite side, then put them back together, and then screw them back in. I'm thinking how I did it. And then screw them back in and then put the rail back in. Oops. That's why I do it that way. Just so when it spills, it doesn't spill on the ground. Another tip right there. That's why I do it that way, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Give me comments if that doesn't make sense to you of how that works. You just can't, if this separates, the idea is if this separates from this, you can't just put it in there. You got to unscrew these from the side, put them back, and then put them back in, okay? Sorry about that explanation, but I'm just trying to tell you, don't waste 2 hours of your life trying to put it back in that way when you can spend only 30 minutes to do it the right way. Chairs have always been easy to go round and around. I mean, the coach chairs turn back in the inside. Of course, that one has a little more tricky because of the steering wheel, but I showed that to people when I ran it out. All the lights, again, have been working. Really cool. Really cool. How do I get this to work? They actually give me a brand new net. If anybody owns one, you know what I'm saying. I have about a 2-inch extension, and it works. Only one renter has used it. I've never used it, so that's working pretty good. You'll see me when I talk about cleaning, how I clean my what do you call those? My floorboards, or what do you call these things? But the mats, the floor mats. How I actually clean it with my power washer, and then I will show you some other things. You know, all I do is I'll show you how to do the outside, but the inside I just take I vacuum it and then I wipe it down with the wipes. You know, the antibacterial wipes. I'm just trying to look at the cab of anything that I have problems with. I haven't had really too many problems. This is pretty easy to clean. I'll have to clean those little spots right there, but I just cleaned a whole bunch of spots here. You know, just mud or whatever. I thought it was going to be hard to clean, but it actually just wipe them with those wipes. I always have a duster like that, but the Swiffer is the best. The Swiffer is the best. And then typically I usually have you know, a tub of wipes in here that I can just use when I'm just you know, when I can see anything. So that's what I do. I have it for renters as well. Anything else? Steering column works really well. Stereo works really well. I changed the oil at 10,000 miles. They wouldn't typically change it unless it was at 10,000, and I did it right at a regular Jiffy Lube. Outside of that, I do it every 5,000, all synthetic. That's what I do. My brother, who owns a Tundra, and some other people that own some other kind of similar ProMaster vans, they do it at 10, 7,500 or 10, and I do it at 5. It's just down the street. I pay in Sacramento area. I pay about $80. In the Oakland area, I was paying about 110, 125. Okay, so regular Jiffy Lube. It has the height for this. It has the height. Awning has been really good. No problems with the light. No problems with the mechanism. I'm just kind of thinking about what I hear. Generator been doing really well. Been doing really well. I'll just go ahead and turn it on right now and give you a tip and trick. So you use the electric sign. Now, like it's that intuitive. That's the electric sign right there. I press stop, then I press start. In about 20 seconds, it'll go on. Just in case I already had the AC on, it'll automatically turn the AC on. This right here, when I say turn the AC on, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. This is always set at low. No matter if you just had it at high, always put it back at high. Okay. Generator just turned on, but the AC isn't on yet because it has to do its thing like prime. I'm pointing down there because that's where the generator is underneath the chassis. One thing you hear is you're going to hear the microwave beep, and that's when the generator is ready. It's prime, and then because I already had the AC on, that's when the AC will turn on. In the beginning, I used to wait until I turn the AC on after the microwave or after it gets primed. And sorry, I'm talking fast. Go ahead and rewind it. But in a couple of seconds here, you're going to go and hear a beep, and then the microwave will be ready because you're going to see the lights on the microwave, and then the AC will automatically turn on. There's that beep, and there's that AC. Okay? AC is up. So, you saw what I just did there. Hopefully that makes sense. Just trying to think of other things that I can tell you how my van is doing well. All the connections on the side have been doing very well. It's held up. Hell, my only gripe, and it's not regarding Thor or anybody, is I've had already a crack here, okay, that they went ahead and pressure fixed. Crack right there. And the crack right here, you can't even see it because I went straight, called my insurance, and I went straight to the shop, and they filled it in. Right? Luckily, they were in two corner space. Here's one other trick too: is after I wash it, I will go ahead and squeegee at the gas station, like if I'm traveling. Then I will use the wipers. Then I will go ahead and use the I'll squeegee with the rubber side on the sides, and it's cleaner versus trying to squeegee and trying to get it dry. Hopefully that makes sense. Rewind it, but I go ahead and just squeegee, make sure that all the soap's on there. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Turn on the windshield wipers. Then I use the rubber side and squeeze out the rest of the soap on the sides. And I can jump on this rail, open this door, and get up like that. All right. Just looking around here. The one thing right here is this was loose, and it's loose right now. So I'm gonna go and try and do a permanent fix today on that. Trying to think of anything that I can show you. That window's been doing pretty good. All the connections have been doing really good. It's not that hard to put that hose in there. It's not that grimy because it's only gray water. The trick I have here, I'll show you a picture of it, is I go ahead and take one of those magnetic, the things that I have on my refrigerator, you will see me stick it magnetic right here and have my hose come in here while it's holding, because this is a trickle, right? When I say a trickle, you can't fully blast it. It takes it in slow. So when it does that, it takes 45 minutes. So I'm wiping the van down as it's doing that. Again, I'll show you a picture where I have a magnet holding the hose in its place. And then how do you know it's full? You know it's full because it starts trickling back here. It starts, overflow starts coming down. So if you sit there and you forgot for an hour, it doesn't really matter. It does matter because you're wasting water, but it doesn't hurt the van, right? It doesn't hurt the van. City fill, oh, this actually did get loose. The way to tighten it is behind here is the plate where the other sink is. You got to unloosen that to tighten this piece. So just be careful with that. As you can tell, we had to unloosen it, but it wasn't dangerous. You don't got to be an engineer to do that either. What's back here? Well, my brothers use the racks. I don't have a bike, so I don't use the racks. No one's actually used them on the rental side. That is something that I worry about, but you know, that's what insurance is for. Draining the gray water is very easy, very, very easy. Not a big problem. Never used a hitch, but look at it. Look at the condition. I mean, I've rented it out multiple times already. Okay, and people take care of it, right? What's the secret? There is no secret. You got to make sure there's a secret, I guess. You get a high deposit, and you vet your renters out, and you do a good walkthrough. Of how to use everything, from adjusting the seats to the control module, telling them if they don't feel comfortable putting this here, put it in the sink, this carry. There's that hooks I'm talking about, very useful. Another thing I use it for, sometimes you want to put a flag or a banner, you just put them on top of the magnet, like up there or on the front, and those things work pretty good, right? How much are those? Like 2 for $10, 2 for $20, right? Bed seems to be pretty straightforward. I use it all the time. If I'm by myself, I just take all the cushions and I put them in the front, and I don't even take the bed out. Man, I'm just trying to think of things that I can tell you. Air pressure is pretty good between oil changes, and I'm just kind of walking around showing you the things on here. The AC is holding up really well. I'm in Sacramento right now. We've been having 110 plus heat. It sits outside, right, all day long. I mean, if anything, I'll get a bra to cover this once these get more, or I'll get that ruggedized look. Oh, how do I wash the van? Well, when I was in Oakland, I used to go to one of those drive-in car washes and brush it and pay about $10 to wash it, clean it, and then drive it around town to actually to air dry it. What I do now is I have that power washer, and I use Chemical Guys foam, and you can just research it. I might take a picture, but Chemical Guys foam, I foam it all the way across all of it. Well, the outsides, not the top, because I'll probably do that every 6 months, and it'll be almost 6 months soon. I bought it in March and it's already August, so it's due now, right? But I foam it, then I rinse it, and then I take my leaf blower and I leaf blow it, or I could drive around, right? But I leaf blow it, and then I just take this wand right here and put this towel on it, and I go up and down or side to side, and then as you can tell, within setup to being done about 35 minutes, it is shiny to me. That includes the windows and everything else. Now, those are my tricks. When I clean it, it takes me about, again, if I wash it the way I just told you how I wash it, then it takes me 35 minutes to do that. It takes me about 20 minutes to 25 minutes to do the inside, so about an hour. And that's me really doing a really good job. If I spend 2 hours on it, it's gonna be the way it kind of looks right now. The wheels, I'm not too worried about. You know, I definitely can wipe those down. I didn't do it today, so just to be honest with you, I could wipe them down. They look clean enough for me right now. They always get dirty because of the brake dust, especially the fronts. I gotta figure out what that little thing is. But that's it. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. I'll try to answer them for you. But again, I rent this thing out. I gotta tell you, it's been a, knock on wood, it's been a great adventure. Kids love it, sleep inside there. Dogs love it. My brother went out to camping, and it was 100-something degrees weather, and he had a French bulldog. He said if he didn't have this with the AC on there, man, that dog wouldn't have been, they would have to go home. But as you can tell, Turbo likes it. It's about 80 to 85 degrees right now. And yeah, knock on wood, or just take care of it. You gotta clean it by yourself once in a while. I can go to a detailing shop and pay between $60 to $120 to clean it. And yes, is it worth it? If it's 110 degrees outside, it's worth it. Heck, if it's past 9 degrees, it's worth it. But once in a while, you have to clean it yourself, because you have to. I say this with my motorcycle. Things get loose, right? This is an earthquake on wheels, right? This is a house on an earthquake on wheels. So things are going to get loose between hinges on the door. You got to have a screwdriver here and there. You got to know. You got to check the bulbs. You got to go inside here and clean inside here once in a while. There's a lot of things you got to do. In there, underneath here, you got to clean and vacuum. I use my Dyson, my home Dyson, because it isn't crazy dirty, right? So I'm just trying to think about other things that I do here that I use. Of course, I use that as well on a daily basis, or when I'm camping. Oh, the heater has been working really well. That gas heater is great. What I would tell you to do though is at nighttime, even though you're blackening everything out, crack a window, right? Or open the fan a little bit up there, because it does get hot. And but it's a great heater, and that heater, man, it lasts for weeks. I don't know if you know this as well, but there is a gas connection down here that you can use. Oh man, can I get it? Right there, right there, right there. Oh, I can't even play. There's a gas connection you can use, because that's what I use for my pizza oven. I take it, I plug in my hose. I have my table right here, and I use my pizza oven here so I can get to my ingredients, like my cheeses and my toppings in there, and I use that gas, right? So this is a great gas carrier too. Man, I wish my house had gas. Solar, I think I told you, solar, that one panel is amazing. It's working great. And let me close the door. Hopefully, Kirby, I want to close the door so they can see what the side looks like, okay? I don't want to slam it on them. But, right? In fact, my car wash action is working really good. Okay? Open the door back up. I think that's what I can tell you. Oh, I did buy seatbelt extenders on Amazon, just in case you have somebody that needs more extension, and it costs like $10 to get those to extend a little so they can be so they can have a longer seat belt. I did that, right? Outside of that though, I'll show you some pictures of how I washed this van. All right, aloha, goodbye.